This week on Most Craved.
That's a damn good cup of coffee.
Douglas Firs. I'm going to need a copy of the coroner's report.
Hey, welcome back to the latest episode of Most Craved. I'm Silas Lesnick.
I'm Jenna Bush with Legion of Leia.
And I'm William Bibiani with Crave Online. Hey, hey.
This week we're talking about some very exciting news. Twin Peaks is coming back after 25 years.
Yes, the gum we like is coming back in style. We can still keep saying it. We're just going to keep saying it until it comes out in 2016. Now, the thing that I think a lot of people think is that this was the plan. Because one of the last lines of dialogue in Twin Peaks was, I'll see you in 25 years.
Well, finalize it out. Also, the dream that Cooper has is 25 years later.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm really, really excited.
I know!
I think everyone is. I ran a story about this, and I have never gotten so many comments on anything. And it's funny because a lot of them were from people who were too young to have watched it the first time, which horrifies me. But yeah, it's actually kind of cool to see an old show that was interesting come back. They're not trying to reboot something that kind of sucked.
Also, a show that doesn't have an ending. I remember I didn't watch Twin Peaks in the original run, but it was introduced to me, and I said as I was going through the second season, does this have an ending, or am I going to be really frustrated and disappointing? And it was like, oh, it has an ending. And then I got to the ending, and it's frustrating and disappointing.
Did you see Fire Walk with Me?
I did see Fire Walk with Me, yeah.
Terrifying. I love that movie. I don't know, I feel like people look back on Twin Peaks, and Twin Peaks is, if you haven't seen it, it might be kind of weird to watch it now because it had an unbelievable impact on all the television you like now. We would not have lost. We would not have
introduced friends to it, and it absolutely holds up.
I think so too, but I'm just saying it's a little interesting to watch in retrospect. But I also think it's one of those shows that people sometimes look at with rose-colored glasses because as brilliant as the first season and a half was, when David Lynch left the series, it takes a dramatic, sharp turn downward. And then it spiked again right up at the end when he came back for the final episode. And it seemed like it was going to be fantastic all over again, but people got really fickle with it. Often, like they often do in popular culture today, where they just get tired of something and then they say, we don't care anymore.
Well, it'd be really interesting to do a rewatch, because if you think of this as sort of like a John Carter thing, when John Carter came out, obviously that book influenced, or those books influenced pretty much every sci-fi movie that's out there. But when the movie came out, without knowing that those were influences, you're like, oh, that just looks like that thing that I watched, and that looks like that thing that I watched.
Exactly.
Going back to watch it now without realizing that it was really groundbreaking for its time, it might feel a little dated. And I would like to do it.
I'm curious myself. I would say I don't think it does at all. I watched it not very long ago, and it's amazing. The fact is, though, David Lynch keeps changing, and he keeps he likes to surprise people. I wonder if these 9 episodes we're getting will even be something that recognizable as Twin Peaks.
I would love it if that were the case, because the thing is, Twin Peaks there was nothing like it. It was kind of like the dark side of Mary Hartman. Mary Hartman, another show you should watch, but it was so strange that I feel like the only way to top it now would be when it comes back, it should be so goddamn weird that the people who wanted it back don't like it. And then the next generation embraces it and they bring it back again. I think it's the only thing to do. Although, honestly, I don't want these 9 episodes to just be resolving every single thing. I mean, yeah, we want to know the soul stuck in the case, whatever it was, the wardrobe, fine. But I kind of want to just revisit Twin Peaks and see just what's happening now. Kind of like a new pilot episode. People who are still around, people who now have kids, what are the teenagers like in Twin Peaks now? And then the events of the original series are a mystery that the audience has more information about, but even we don't have the answers. I think that would be really fascinating story to tell.
Right, and we don't actually know what's going to happen, but I mean, it would be logical not to reboot or do that. It would be logical to actually set it now. I mean,
I'm sure it's going to be 25 years later.
They can't hide the age of everyone.
I don't think so.
And it's so perfectly set up in the series to come back after 25 years.
Yeah.
Here's a question though: Will they bring back Laura Flynn Boyle or Moira Kelly? Because one of the actors couldn't make it for the movie, but they needed her character, so they recast her just for the movie. I think they should bring them both back.
At this point, we don't know anyone that's coming back. It sounds like Kyle MacLachlan, who tweeted.
He seems pretty convinced.
He seems hinting, and then how could you not?
And also look how young he looks. He's a baby
he was so
in that picture.
studly.
He's Sky's father now on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Uh-huh.
All right, crossover. Continuity. Everyone loves continuity.
All the sense.
Everyone loves continuity.
We should move on
we'll-
to X-Men.
Some other small screen news is it sounds like there's a rumor that Fox is developing an X-Men series.
I would be fine with this. I don't know if you guys watched this, and I know it was a terrible show, but I actually had fun with it. Mutant X,
Oh, no,
10 years
I
ago.
watched-
Oh, it was
no.
awful.
Not only
but
Mutant X, I also remember the
Generation
X
X
TV movie, which
Yes.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was terrible. It was so
bad.
terrible.
So bad, but I was so, all right, X-Men is actually how I got into comics when I was a really little kid, so, and I watched the animated series and all of that, so I could not be happier about this news, but it'll be interesting to see if this happens, what characters they use.
My thing is this. I feel like they're probably going to want to go with an existing property.
Right.
And then you look at how TV works. Are there any mutant doctors? Well, kind of, but not really. Are there any mutant lawyers? Not really. Are there mutant private detectives? Yes, there are.
And that's been the rumor.
I think it should be X Factor. I think it's a logical step. My only concern with this is that I know Fox is now really serious about trying to turn the X-Men into a big continuity-driven crossover franchise like Marvel has. Continuity is the one thing they suck at. Every single X-Men movie contradicts another X-Men movie. Like they've never done it right. And hopefully like the Days of Future Past reboot will give them an excuse to kind of start over and fix everything, but I'm nervous about now they're going to have a show, they're going to have to like, then they're just going to like, even if they put multiple men in a show, they're going to put them in another movie and just pretend the show doesn't exist because they don't care.
we'll see. I mean, we don't necessarily know what's X Factor. I would love to see
Sure.
Generation X.
Yeah.
X Force was on schedule to become a film, and then it sort of disappeared. Now they're doing Deadpool. That's a property that would kind of make sense, and you could set it in the post-apocalyptic future of Days of Future Past future, and sort of stay away from continuity problems because it's sort of a reality that doesn't quite exist.
You
Yeah,
do
could this be a
Wolverine-
period piece?
Yeah.
Because you know, Quicksilver has been rumored.
Okay, you could do Wolverine's clone daughter and make it a CW series about going to high school and hunky guys.
I don't even know what to do
On
with
that note, thank you very much for tuning into Most Craved. We'll see you next week.
Let's rock! No one else?